Today we have r/ask Reddit, where the question that was asked is, if human experiments were made legal, what would scientists first experiment about? Nerve regeneration. Could help with many conditions, like paralysis, deafness, blindness, etc. I had my collarbone plated and screwed with 11 screws after a really bad break. Before the surgery, the doctor told me he would do his best to look for the 5 or so nerve endings that cross that area, but they were very small, and most surgeons just cut right through them. I just said thank you before going under. Afterward the doc let me know he found 2, but there were definitely more that he couldn't find. Because of this I couldn't feel any topical pressure applied to the skin surface on my entire chest on the right side and down my arm, stopping halfway between my shoulder and elbow. He told me nerves don't usually grow back and this odd sensation would last for the rest of my time here on Earth. I went on with life and rehab until about 6 months after surgery, when I was walking through campus. Suddenly it felt like someone had poured ice water on my right shoulder. It was so sudden I jumped, screamed, and caused the entire quad to look in my direction. I touched my shoulder, and I could feel part of it again. This sensation happened a couple more times and now I have no loss of feeling in any area of my right shoulder. So odd. Edit, doing don't and small clarification. I will try to reply to everyone tomorrow. This is the most popular comment I've ever had on Reddit, so please be kind to me. I imagine some sociologists would really like to pull a Lord of the Flies type thing where you remove a dozen kids from civilization and see how they adapt. A king did this in the old days, way back when his own word was law. He had children raised feral to see what would happen to them. The guy I heard about was Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II that did this, but upon a Google search you can find more as well. Pharaoh Samtikai of Egypt and King James IV of Scotland are noted. And? Don't leave us hanging, I'm curious now. They died. Honestly? How to make viruses and viral infections more efficient yet controlled. This will make the delivery of genetic treatments way more effective. Edit, AAVs exist. I forgot about that. Thanks to those who pointed it out. How to make viruses and viral infections more efficient yet controlled. I thought you were going to go the weaponized Ebola route on that. Does it even need weaponizing? It's dangerous enough as it is. So is smallpox and anthrax. Didn't stop the Americans and Soviets from making even more dangerous versions. Putting a child in a giant inflatable ball, periodically poking it with a stick to prove/disprove the hypothesis that it would grow up to. Hate them. Some children hate you even if you give them the wrong cereal in the morning. My daughter is a sweetheart. If another kid snatches a toy, she'll barely react. If she gets shoved over, she'll tell them no. I've never seen her fight. She's 3. But one time, one of her grandparents didn't have cornflakes for breakfast. 6 months on, she still hates them and reminds them they have crap breakfast cereals. Her greeting, "You bad flakes. Yucky flakes." First, some health preventative measures. Want a baby that we guarantee won't have these terrible genetic defects that you have a chance of passing on? Done. Then aesthetic changes. Want a blonde hair, blue-eyed kid? Or shall we go brown hair, brown eyes to make sure your kid doesn't have the traits of their actual father? Done. Then physical advantage changes. Want us to add the stamina of one race and height of another race? Done. After decades of this, rich people will use genetic experimentation and modifiers to clearly define their children as rich from birth. Like born with specific birth markings. Or wings, who knows? Yep. Babies would be modified quickly. Rich people would spare little expense to make sure their single offspring would be the smartest, prettiest, and strongest baby they could produce. Get a great ape to raise a child. Probably by switching a stillborn chimp/gorilla/orangutan with a newborn infant. Repeat this several times, removing the child from its ape mother at different ages. 2, 6, 10, 18. Teach that ape human English and see what we can learn. Gorilla dad coming back from hunting trip, now who day? Is this no hair having, 2 sets of opposable thumbs lacking? That ain't my kid. Apes are way too smart. Maybe a grieving mother would accept the child, but an ape community, especially one in captivity, they'd know the child was human right away. The kid would either be in hella danger or end up ostracized by the community. It would be interesting though, if we knew the child wouldn't be murked on sight. Trying to take DNA from other animals and coding it into humans so we have their abilities. Imagine having lizard DNA where amputees could grow back limbs? Or shark DNA where if your teeth fall out new ones come in. Being able to fly? Tougher skin? A tail? Webbed feet and gills? Lobster DNA, you don't die of old age, you just keep getting bigger. Marsupial DNA, easier childbirth. Sorry if this a bit late, but I do believe the lizard from the Spider-Man series would tell you not to do the lizard DNA lol. Don't want Gant lizard running around. Winky face. Immortality. I'm pretty confident it would be drugs for things like cancer, dementia, Parkinson's, heart disease, diabetes etc. because they'd be worth the most money, billions of dollars. If you could do human trials whenever you wanted with no safety concerns, you'd be able to move a lot faster and not be limited to things that work in mice. Of course you'd kill some people and cause horrible side effects in others, but I guess in this scenario we've decided that is a price we're willing to pay. Diet stuff. One of the big limits to modern dietary science is all our data points involve heavy self-reporting and are not controlled. There was an article about this in the NYT yesterday. Anyway, what they'd do is get lots of people in a relatively controlled environment and feed them all kinds of various diets to see what is actually good/bad. So you'd have Papa who gets the SAD. Pop B that is on some kind of calorie-based but otherwise not limited system. Pop C on some kind of low-carb diet. Pop D on a plant-based diet. Brain transplants or the ability to transfer someone's consciousness. The day we figure out what consciousness truly is and how to transfer it, is the day we defeat death. Put me in a giant robot body, I am all for it. I would pay to watch the brain bots fight each other. Gene editing to the point of being able to produce newborns with specific cosmetic and mechanical traits with near 100% precision. Basically designer babies. Very morally questionable, but imagine being able to prevent all genetic diseases/disorders in all future humans, even having them born without appendixes and wisdom teeth. That or make real monster girls for the weebs. At what angle do we have to hit someone's elbow to produce electricity? 72 degrees. 69 degrees. Human nature outside of civilization. This would be an interesting one, and I believe the movie Interstellar touched on it, sending our DNA to another planet to live on. Also the beginning of Prometheus has a scene about this. If you mean outside of city/village life, there are still some nomadic hunter-gatherer groups to study. If you mean outside of social groups entirely, then it's not human nature you're interested in. Human nature essentially involves being in groups, just like wolves or lions or ants or any other social creatures. Either cancer patients or healthy subjects for any disease. Someone not heard of a clinical trial. I'll take comment I've read about 8 times now for 500 Alex. Work on a universal translator. Take 2 languages and teach newborns a very specific and matching curriculum in each language. Then test their brains. What does that even mean? Teach a new brain words like apple but in different languages. Then with an EEG and other tests see if apple means the same thing to a brain in a different language. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.